Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Today we have finally the patch notes for Wild Rift 2.2, which I thought we was going to get tomorrow at the normal time, but I guess because it's a bigger update, they wanted the update to get out earlier. So it's just been released just now. So we're going to be going through it. We're going to be talking through all the changes. As you can see by the table of contents, there is a lot of changes. Yeah, we're going to be taking a deep dive into this, seeing what we can find and seeing what changes are. As you can see by the champion changes, some interesting champions that are being changed for sure. So let's head straight into it. So Monstrous Patch is bringing a horde of champions, changes and choices to Wild Rift. Want to gain Kenny Lane? Galio just stones throw away. God. Want to choose your lane? Queue up with position preference. Want just one lane? All random, all mid is in the testing. Welcome to patch 2.2. Which gets me excited already, to be honest. Watch back to bring in a horde of champions, changes and choices to Wild Rift. Oh, that's literally the same thing that they just said. Cool, that's fine. Content will be released throughout the patch in case anyone misses it. Here's a preview of some of the stuff, new stuff coming, which was in the dev diary. New champions. First up, we have Galio. Galio will be released on April 1st. Now, Galio is either a support or a mid lane champion. You saw a bit from the Dev Diary video, but he slams down. He's a tank. He does a lot of AP damage if he does get ahead. It's such a fun champion, and obviously the first champion that's going to be released out of all the other ones that were mentioned. So we're probably going to be getting Kha'Zix, Rengar, Renekton, and Rammus at a later date. So that's pretty exciting. So first up for new features, we have the position preference. So it goes from 1 to 5, being 1 is your most preferred one, 5 being your least preferred role. Some details here about, you know, how it all works and everything like that, but it's nothing really too crazy. The best thing to note here is that once champion select begins, all players will be assigned a position. You'll see them in champ select, and champs which are regularly played in your assigned position will be highlighted. You can now also filter by position to find appropriate champions for where you're playing, which is awesome, which is kind of similar to PC League. Finally, when the game begins, you'll see new indicators to guide you to your chosen lane. That is amazing. It's such a good change, a change that we've been wanting for a long time. We'll give them a temporary position preference enabled for 2 weeks, which is what they expected. You will not impact ranked progression. We'll be running an ongoing event called Position Lab, which will give you some extra blue mods for each day. That's pretty cool. Pending the queue's performance and your feedback, we'll evaluate whether it's ready to roll out to primary ranked queue at the end of the test. If not, we'll take it back in development for some more tweaks. Awesome change. Really looking forward to it. Another awesome change is ARAM, which is all random, all mid. One lane, you get a random champion, you can re-roll, all that sort of stuff. They say it lasts roughly around 12 minutes, which is half the time of a normal game of Wild Rift. As you can see here, this is the select screen. So you have all the rerolls in the top corner, top left-hand corner. And then you have the reroll button at the bottom, which is awesome. You also got new abilities, Mark and Dash, which is a 2-part spell that you can dash on. You also have Clarity. Clarity is the one that gives you a burst of mana back to you and nearby allies. But this is only for ARAM. This is not going to affect normal Wild Rifts. Starting 5th of April, we run a small 3-day test of the game mode to make sure that everything works as intended. Amazing. So good. It will be available to play over a month, running from 15th of April to 19th of May. Amazing. 5th of April, mark your diaries. It's going to be a fun one for sure. For more information as we approach ARAM, find out here. Oh my god. We are getting a glorious Jinx skin for Ranked Season 2. All for some reason coming to a close, but don't worry. The season 2 begins April 2nd at 18 UTC, which I think is American time, so I'm not too sure how that would work in terms of UK time. Reach your goal with 10 wins or more under your belt grants glorious Jinx in season 2. So season 2, if you get gold and if you get it, and if you have more than 10 wins, then you get glorious Jinx. That looks like an awesome skin. I cannot wait to unlock this as an AD carry main. It's going to be so cool. Jinx was rewarded to players who reached gold or higher in season 2. And just scattered from the thousands of project explosions. She's got her eyes on a big boon to end them all. Awesome. In the patch, you also receive an emblem showcasing your highest rank in season. Oh, showcasing your highest rank in season run. So the emblem is going to showcase your highest rank in season run. and an icon if you played any ranked games during Season 1. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. More features. Wild Pass. Patch 2.2 introduced a Wild Pass, a way to earn more content just for playing. You can choose to upgrade your Wild Pass to obtain some new rewards, which I'll obviously be doing. And reaching the end of the level, or end of the pass, which is rank 50, you get a Hexplorer Jack skin, which is there. And you can even go beyond to unlock more rewards as well, which is awesome. In testing, 120Hz support, again, something that was highly requested on selected devices, obviously, to make sure that, obviously, they work completely fine. That's why it's only in testing. Some more info here, actually, about the Wild Pass. Wild Pass will launch with the start of Season 2 of Ranked and cost 590 Wild Cores. The Wild Pass Elite offers a bunch of progress and missions to turbocharge your progress and costs an additional 400 Wild Cores. You can purchase levels for 150 Wild Cores each. Kind of just similar to a Battle Pass that's on every single other game at the moment, which is completely fine. New languages, add official spot for Brazilian, Portuguese, Latin American, Spanish, and Arabic, which is cool. Items, several new items are on the way, including Winged Moonplate, Force of Nature, and Frozen Heart. Read more in the section below, which is completely fine. New skins, Corgi. We get the, this is kind of a bad Galio skin to have. Debonair Galio, not the best skin to have. Draven. Fuzz Fizz is a great skin. Inferno Galio is a really good skin. Surprise Party and Moo. Glorious Jax is such a good skin. Obviously, Hexplorer Jax. Academy Ari, Blitzcrank is another great skin, and Marauder Olaf, which is awesome. Obviously released throughout patch 2.2, it's not gonna all happen straight away. Goodies and or purchase goodies from a bunch of different sources. Please check the page in the game for more information. So we've got some new icons. This looks like the challenger border. It looks like there's gonna be a challenger recall as well. That definitely looks like a challenger board. That definitely looks like a challenger recall. Oh my god. More baubles, more emotes. They're bringing TFT emotes as well to the game. These last two here are both TFT characters. They got the Corgi wiggling his butt as well. We got Surprise Moo crying. Holy moly. Oh, there you go. It says it all here. Charming Poro, Rebel Poro, all Poros, Hextech, Jax and Jax Unleashed. Emotes, all these different emotes and everything that you can get as well, which is awesome. Icon borders, recall port. Oh, is this for the Hex? Oh, it's for the Hexplorer passage. Icon borders is the Explorer one. Ah, I see. Baubles, Rift emblems as well, which is pretty cool. All goodies will be released throughout the patch, which is awesome. Events, Wild Rift Journey. Wild Rift Journey starts when you complete the event for new players. Wild Rift Academy. Oh, this is for the Americans, I'm pretty sure. Wild Rift Journey. Complete the journey to earn content that will prepare you for the games ahead. I think this is for the Americans. I think this was the Wild Rift Journey for just the Americans. Position Lab, which is the one that we already saw. Now these are the big ones. Champion changes. Alistar. Is Cal's too beefy? I mean, it was really, really beefy. Health has gone down by a little bit. The knock-up radius for the Q has gone down by a tad. And the damage on slightly down on his Pulverize as well. Not bad changes, to be honest. I think the one change that I would have liked to see was something to change with his ultimate, because his ultimate is given so many resistances and basically making him unkillable. Extra health in early game is not too bad, minus 40 HP. And obviously the pulverized radius going down by a little bit is alright, so you can't do it from as big of a distance. And obviously the damage going down as well. I still think Alistar will still be a strong pick for sure. This help just allows him to maybe get poked out a bit more in lane and maybe not be as tanky as what he is. Amumu, now this is interesting. Amumu, I feel like, so there was a tweet that came out like a week or two ago saying, who do you think is the highest win rate champion the whole game at the moment? It was a tweet by JCM, which is the guy that works on the gameplay and the balances and everything like that. And I feel like Amumu was the one because Amumu's getting a nerf. Now, you hardly ever see Amumu in high elo, but it might be performing really, really well at lower elos, maybe like golds and things like that. But in Challenger, Grandmaster, you never see Amumu. The only chance you maybe ever see Amumu is that if someone doesn't play jungle and it's kind of like their go-to pick. Amumu's kind of an easy jungler to play, doesn't really require a lot of skill. So maybe that's why they're nerfing him. Armor's going down by 5. Health per level is going down by 10. The W, the second ability, which is the Cry, which does damage per second. The AP ratio is going down to 0.75% per 100 mana, and the ultimate cooldown is going up by 10 seconds at every rank. Cool. I mean, like I said, I never really saw a Moo anyway, so it's kind of interesting, to be fair. But we'll see, we'll see. Corki. Corki's attack will no longer convert physical vamp into magical vamp and will instead behave as normal. Is this why people were building Blade of the Ruin King on Corki? I didn't even know this was a thing, to be honest. Cleaned up Corki's kit by removing the universe mechanic where Corki automatically converted physical vamp to magical vamp when auto-attacking. Huh. Interesting. It's a very, very interesting change, but it's an adjustment nonetheless. But I'm guessing this is why maybe the people were building Blade of Ruin King, because the physical vamp was converting into magical vamp from Corki's attacks. So I guess it basically allows him to heal more or something. But obviously that's been removed now, so I would say it's a pretty decent change, to be fair. I didn't even know that was a thing, if I'm totally honest with you, with Corki. Darius is now unstoppable during the cast time. Cool. Kind of a buff to him, to be fair. So when he's in his ultimate, he can kind of dodge everything, which is kind of cool. Dr. Mundo. You've been seeing Dr. Mundo rise up a bit more over the last few weeks. Kind of because people realize that his jungle clear is really, really fast, and he's just becomes a super tanky beast that no one can kill, really. Mundo's good against a lot of AP damage as well, so if you're against like a full AP comp, then that's the best way to go about it. Infected Cleaver, which is his Q. Damage versus monsters is going down by, it looks like 30 per level, 30, 20, 10 and max rank. So a bit of the early game damage to monsters has gone down by a little bit. And the cooldown of the third ability, which allows him to his auto attacks to do more damage, has gone up slightly at level 2, 3, and 4. Interesting changes. I don't think we'll do too much, if I'm totally honest with you, but we'll have to wait and find out. Just reducing the late game, I think, of the Dr. Mundo with the third ability change for sure. Jhin, oh, my baby Jhin didn't get a buff. It got a nerf instead. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. But I mean, it's a change that, to be honest, was kind of crazy anyway. The captive audience, which is the traps, now deals 65% damage to non-champions. This basically reduces Jhin's wave clear. It was absolutely crazy how fast you can wave clear with Jhin. You put a trap down, you auto attack a few times on the melee minions. Use your Q to bounce the grenade. Use one more shot on the other minion, and then all the minions are dead. You can push waves so quickly with Jhin. So I guess it's a cool change, but I think Jhin might actually be pretty good after the patch because of the AD attack speed changes. Because it doesn't really affect Jhin that much because he already has a lot of movement speed. He doesn't really auto-attack that fast anyway because his attack speed actually converts into attack damage, so it'd be pretty interesting. Orianna, thank God she is getting nerfed. Thank God. It's crazy how strong she is. Health going down by quite a bit. First ability, the cooldown is going up by quite a lot, it seems like. 1.5, 1.5, and then nothing at the max rank. You normally max this first anyway on Orianna, so you'll probably get it at level, I think it's level 7, you'll get your first ability maxed, so it's not really too bad. AP ratio has gone down by a little bit, and base damage has gone down by a little bit as well. I think this is mainly to do with early game, to be honest. The late game is not going down by too much in terms of cooldown. AP ratio will be fine in late game. They're just nerfing the damage at every single rank. So, I mean, I needed change anyway. And the base damage of her third ability has gone down as well. I mean, all needed changes for Orianna. Orianna at the moment is just the queen of the mid lane. She is really, really strong at the moment. But this will bring other champions into play now, for sure. Ziggs has been rising up a lot. Corki, obviously, been rising up a lot as well in solo queue and in pro play. So, this will definitely put Orianna down the ladder down the ladder for sure. Pantheon. Now, Pantheon's an interesting one. Pantheon, I feel like sometimes he could be really, really good. Sometimes he just seems complete useless. I think people just need to understand how to play him. Kind of similar to Katarina in a way. Bringing Aspect of War back in line with his PC counterpart. So his first ability, Mortal Will, enhanced one, no longer slows. Okay, so that's his empowered version of his ability will no longer slow. Interesting. His second ability, there's a bug fix, now correctly resets attacks and empowered attacks cannot be interrupted. Cool, that's pretty awesome. Oh, this is a big one. Aegis Assault, which is his third ability, no longer blocks turret damage. So this is going to make his tower dives a lot weaker for sure. Now, this has not been a thing in PC League for a long time, but they actually added it to Wild Rift, which I think was a huge mistake because turrets don't really do a lot of damage in the first place. So, I mean, Pantheon was able to tower dive really easily, which is awesome. The enhanced version, which is the empowered version, no longer has extended duration, so it now has the same duration. But the enhanced version now gains 60% movement speed for 1.5 seconds when slamming shield. Cool, I guess. I guess this is the same as the PC version. I don't really feel like Pantheon does need a movement speed. The longer duration was pretty cool. But most of the time you want to use the extended duration when you tower dive so you block more turret damage. But now they've removed this and they've added like a cool movement speed. I would say overall this shield is overall, I mean, slightly nerfed as well from the turret damage, but a buff because he gets more movement speed. I don't think the duration matters that much. The bug fix is obviously really nice. The Q is obviously a nerf. Ultimate, the spear that lands before Pantheon now slows by 50% for 2 seconds and deals Comet Spear's damage in a small area. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little buff, nice little slow, which is pretty awesome. Teemo. Teemo's pretty healthy spot in high level play. Huh? Okay. I don't really see Teemo a lot, to be fair, and every time Teemo gets picked, it's kind of troll pick, but okay. But overperforming at lower ranks, reducing his snap escape potential. Okay. So camouflage channel time just going up by 0.2 seconds. Cool. Awesome. really strange. Alright, new items now. The chat is going to be a long video. I'm sorry, but there's so many changes. New items. Force of Nature. Force of Nature will be replacing Adaptive Helm as the go-to magic resist item for when those... So they're not actually adding Force of Nature. They're replacing Adaptive Helm. Oh, God. I don't know what I think about that. I really don't know what I think about that. Because at the moment, there's not really a lot of magic resist items. And by the looks of things, it's going to be the same problem again. You're only going to have Force of Nature and Abyssal Mask. And that's it. Which is crazy. Health 350, magic resist 45. Total cost is 850, sorry. Spectre's Cowl and Wing Mood Plate, which is down here, which we'll go over in seconds. Okay. So the passive. So basically how Force of Nature works is that it gets a bunch of movement speed, which is awesome. And then taking ability damage grants you bonus movement speed, which is exactly the same as the PC version, which is awesome. Stacks up to 5 times for a maximum of 30 movement speed and 30 bonus magic damage. You get even more bonus magic damage, magic resist, on top of that. Each unique ability stacks once. Awesome. Frozen Heart. This is a really good item for tanks. Really bad for ADCs like me. I hate this game. Armor, mana, ability haste. Really good on champions like Malphite. Malphite can dive in. He'll get the extra mana as well. He'll have the ability haste for the cooldown reduction. Be a really strong item for Malphite for sure. And obviously reduces the attack speed of nearby enemies by 15%, which is awesome. Winged Moon Plate, which looks like it's going to be a small item. Kind of, let's say, component for Force of Nature. Gives you a bit of health, a little bit of movement speed, and costs 900 gold. Be a ruby crystal, and then plus 400 gold, which is awesome. Is a new component for Dead Man's Plate as well. So it's a kind of a nice tank item, which gives you some movement speed early on and some extra HP. Item changes, right, so Sapphire Crystal. So Sapphire Crystal is now moving into being an early item for Tear of the Goddess, which is really awesome. So it now only gives 100 mana. It now gives ability haste early on, so 5 ability haste early on, which to be fair is not that much, but it's pretty awesome. And it also has the mana charge passive as well, which goes into Tear of the Goddess, which then goes into Mana Immune and Seraph Embrace. So it'll be really good on Ezreal, on Oriannal, and champions that want to get stacks early. It grants 5 mana per ability up to 250 and triggers up to 3 times every 12 seconds. Tear of the Goddess now has ability haste, but now has 10 ability haste, which is pretty awesome. Passive, the mana charge. Oh, mana charge has actually gone down from 8 to 7. Okay, so you can't stack on Tear of the Goddess as much. So you only actually get 2 more mana charge if you upgrade the tier, which is kind of interesting. New passive mana charge. Mana gained from Mana Crystal's Mana Charge carries over into Tear of the Goddess. So Tear can start with up to 250 mana already stacked. Awesome. Now, the really, really important thing to note about this is that Sapphire Crystal, the 250 mana, is not the same as Tear of the Goddess and Seraph's Embrace. I can't stress this enough. When you reach 250 stacks on Sapphire Crystal, you need to make sure you upgrade to Tear of the Goddess as soon as possible, because I think Tear of the Goddess goes up to 750, 650, so you need to make sure that you don't stay on Sapphire Crystal for the whole game. You need to make sure you upgrade to Tear of the Goddess when you hit that 250 mark. But it's a really good way for champions that want to get early tier stacks early on, which is awesome. Winter's Approach, which is... oh no, it's not the same one. Winter's Approach is being reworked to become the health, mana / ability haste item. Oh, it's the yes, this is the Winter's Approach. So this was the one that used to be a tier item, but I think it's now being changed. Oh no, it's still going to be a tier item, but it's now becoming a more ability haste one. We'll see what they do. So they've added 350 health now, but removed the armor, which is awesome. Now gives them more mana. Gives them the same ability haste and costs the same, but now builds out of Tear of the Goddess, Giant Spell, and 700 gold, which is awesome. New passive grants ability haste equal to 1% maximum mana, refunds 15% of the mana spent. Kind of crazy, to be fair. You can get a lot of ability haste. Ability haste equal to 1% of maximum mana. Now, obviously, you'll be stacking up mana constantly with the Sapphire Crystal and the Tear of the Goddess, so this would be pretty cool. Blitzcrank will be really good with this. To be honest, maybe even Malphite as well with the ability haste. Champions that want cooldowns up as soon as possible, this would be really, really good with. Increases max mana by 8 every attack when mana is spent or when taking damage from champions, epic monsters or towers. Caps at 700 bonus mana, which I think is the same as tier. So you go 250 for Sapphire Crystal and then 700 afterward. And then it transforms into Winter's Approach into Flim Winter, or however you say that. Triggers up to 3 times every 12 seconds. You may only carry one Tear of the Goddess item at once. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And this is the Flim Winter, which is the upgraded version of Winter's Approach. 350 health, no more armor. Mana's gone up by a little bit. You get the ability ace and you get the total costs. Same thing, same passive. Same passive from the ability haste, but now with this, immobilize an enemy champion, consumes mana, and grants a shield for 3 seconds, absorbing 150 plus 5% of your max mana for every nearby champion. This effect only activates while you have greater than 20% maximum mana. Wow. Wow, this is actually crazy on Malphite. Holy moly, this is actually bonkers. You ulti into a team fight, you immobilize everyone, then you grant a shield for 3 seconds whilst in the middle of the whole team. So everyone's going to be attacking you because Malphite's ulting in. He grants a shield, and then he could just stand there and tank everything. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Manamune and Mirror Mana now has 20 ability haste, so it's kind of a bit of a buff there. Now this is the next one. Now that was a long one with a tier, but this is the next big one. Sheen does now not build from Sapphire Crystal. Sapphire Crystal is now its own thing with Tear of the Goddess. It only builds out of that. Sheen is now its own thing. So it's now doesn't have the mana, which is kind of useless most of the time anyway. But now it costs 300 gold cheaper. Huge, huge, huge change, in my opinion. Like, things like Darius and, you know, people that want Sheen early. Ezreal, things like that. Like... you can get Sheen for like 300 gold cheaper. You don't really need mana in the first place. And you can get the Sheen proc, which is amazing. Now, Lichbane has obviously removed the 300 gold. Has actually been reduced in price. Now builds out of Sheen, Aether Wisp, which is awesome. Trinity Force, again, removes the mana, but it's also cheaper. Huge change again. This is a huge buff. Like, 200 gold cheaper might not seem a lot, but that's a crazy buff. Obviously, mana doesn't really mean that much, but Triforce being a cheaper item, insane. I really think Ezreal is going to be really, really strong. Being able to stack early with Sapphire Crystal, Trinity Force being cheaper, being able to get Sheen earlier as well. Huge, huge changes, I think, for Ezreal, definitely. Iceborne Gauntlet now doesn't have the mana, but the cost has been unchanged. But the combined cost has gone up due to the Sheen changes. Awesome. Dead Man's Plate. As above with the new build, Dead Man's Plate is the go-to tanky item for speedy engages. Awesome. Has a new passive, Relentless, which gives 5% movement speed. Total cost has now been unchanged. Awesome. So is this on top of the movement speed that you get from the other passive as well? So you get 5% movement speed from the Winged Moonplate, but then plus you get the movement speed from the other passive as well, which is when you build up, you gain the movement speed, and then when you auto-attack someone, you gain more damage. Not really too sure. We'll have to look into that, definitely. Thornmail. Now, they've adjusted Thornmail. Now, the Grievous Wounds doesn't affect when someone attacks you now. The Grievous Wounds now affects when you mobilize champions. So this is, again, there's so many ways that Malphite can jump in now. Malphite can jump in with Thornmail, immobilizing everyone. That means that no one can heal on their team. We'll also get a huge, massive shield as well with the new tier item. And then also has Frozen Heart, so no one around him has attack speed because he'll be in the whole team with Frozen Heart. So I feel like this whole change overall in terms of all the tank items, I mean, you'll see later on as well, there's even more tank items coming. It's going to be crazy for tanks and with Malphite in general. Obviously, upon being hit by a base attack, reflects 25 of the bonus plus 10% bonus armor as magic damage, also inflicting grievous wounds in the attack for 3 seconds. And then mobilizing enemy champions also inflicts them with grievous wounds for 3 seconds. So it's basically a buff overall for Thornmail. It's kind of crazy, to be fair. Like I said, immobilizing targets, being able to get the grievous wounds, they don't need to attack you anymore. If they attack you, they still apply grievous wounds, but they don't really need to attack you anymore. Sunfire Ages, which will replace, obviously, Sunfire Cape. This is a mythic item in the PC version, but obviously they're not adding mythic items yet. Health is going up. Armor has been reduced. They now have ability haste now on Sunfire Ages, and the combined cost is now 300. There'll be Bambi Cinder, Kindle Gem, which is a cooldown reduction health item, which is awesome. Now, the passive has been adjusted a little bit. Deal 16 to 30 magic damage, plus 1% of bonus HP to nearby enemies. Damage champions on epic monsters with Immolate increases its damage by 8% by 5 seconds. Awesome. Stacking up to 6 times. Awesome. Cool. That's all fine. Wow. Wow. This is a big change. Mortal Reminder is going up by 300 combined cost and 300 gold. Now, I've been saying this for a long time. Mortal Reminder was a really, really cheap item. 2,650 gold. You had a bunch of attack speed. You have the armor penetration. You had the grievous wounds on top of that as well. This is a big, big change for AD carries. Huge, huge change for AD carries. You won't be seeing a Mortal Reminder rush anymore, most likely. It'll be the Infinity Edge into the Rapid Fire Cannon and maybe Mortal Reminder third item. You might not even see it maybe until the third item, but you might not even see it now until the fourth item. You might go like Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire Cannon, Phantom Dancer on Zaya, and then build Mortal Reminder after that. So a pretty big change. Randuin's is being buffed by 5 armor. Warmog's is being buffed by 50 health. These are all crazy changes for tanks. Why is tanks being buffed so much? Mental. I mean, to be fair, most of the time in pro play and high elo, it's all glass cannon champions, but this is crazy. Obviously, the removed adaptive helm, which I'm not really too sure about. This is the big change that I wanted to read up on. This attack speed change. We're changing the way champions that play with higher attack speed. Previously, champions who stack a bunch of attack speed items have less attack frame reduction, which makes kiting and chasing a bit too reliable. We expect marksmen to feel the highest impact here, obviously. So we'll be monitoring this adjustment closely. Cool. So attack speed effect ratio on attacks wind up. So it's gone from 100 to 50%. Okay. So wind up equals the base wind up divided by 1 plus the attack speed, which used to be the thing, but now it's base wind up time divided by 1 plus attack speed by 50 times 50%. Okay, so basically reducing it in half. So this basically means that's the base wind up of every single champion, their base wind up speed. Then it normally goes up 1 plus your attack speed as well, so whatever amount your attack speed. But now they're halving this attack speed. So when you auto attack, the wind up will be a little bit slower to start off with. We'll have to test this out and we'll have to see how this affects things. But champions like Ezreal, again, as I already said, Ezreal might be really, really good when the Trinity Force and everything changes. Champions like Jhin as well. Jhin doesn't really do, doesn't really build off attack speed, so it's really, really good. Kai'Sa doesn't really build attack speed too much as well. Might affect her a little bit, but champions like Kai'Sa, Jinx, all these ones with loads of attack speed, Tristana as well, they're all going to get pretty hard with this. Awesome. Ghost has been upped in duration. The burst top speed has been reduced. The duration has been increased. And now on takedown, the burst duration is increased by 6 seconds and the burst speed is reapplied. So it basically reapplies the duration and the speed, which is awesome. Ignite. Scaling back Ignite's cast range so that killing people with it requires a bit more for... Okay, so the cast range has been reduced. Interesting. I'm surprised they didn't nerf Barrier. I feel like Barrier is a really, really big thing at the moment, but we'll see for sure. Communications. This is going to be a long one, chat. This is going to be a long one. Communications. Added 3 pings for easier team coordination. Ping enemy here has vision here, which is awesome to warn about wards. Ping group to rally the team. Ping enemy missing, which is again another great thing when your opponent might be heading for a gank, etc., etc. Soon occasionally receive emails if a player you reported was penalized. You saw this as a little teaser. I've seen this a few times from a few friends. You can now equip the same emote in multiple autofire slots. Awesome. Because there's never a bad time to spam the Galaxy Brain part. Interesting. Social changes. Invite notifications are no longer in a giant full screen takeover. They're now a smaller, friendlier notification that won't block your interactions with the client. Really, really awesome change. Kind of annoying to get pop-ups all the time from people, like, you know, inviting all the time. So it's awesome. You can accept, reject, or simply swipe right to hide the game invitation. Cool change. Improve the visuals for when you invite friends who are already in game. Cool. Social sharing. You can now share your achievements or Wild Pass rewards to Facebook. Cool. Or by downloading the image directly. Awesome. End of game screen. If you stay for a while in the end of game screen and your friends are ready to go again, the game will give you a friendly nudge to continue. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Add an indicator in the end of phone screen to indicate which players were marked as AFK or AF phone. Okay. Interesting, because AFK means away from keyboard, but it's actually away from phone. Cool. Add new graphic presets, performance, graphics, or custom. Performance is obviously going to optimize FPS and not going to be as graphically good. And then graphics will optimize the graphics quality. Awesome. Added new FPS options, 40, 90, and 120, obviously depending on what phone you have. 40 FPS, 90 FPS, 120 FPS. What if my phone could go up to 120 FPS? Be interesting to see. 90 FPS maybe as well. Currently available on specific device models. We'll have to see if mine one is that. Dev zone tuning, which they teased a bit in the dev diary, so it makes it harder for you to move around, which is awesome. Move sticks can now be centered closer to the edge of the screen on first touch, similar to move stick type follow. Cool. Tutorial for new players, really, really big thing, obviously. Changing up the first logging flow to get into Wild Rift faster. Downloading a small chunk of the game. Awesome. New players will no longer immediately enter a standard free-to-play match rotation when they finish the tutorials. They will instead have a designated champion pool aimed at giving them a taste of different roles, playstyles, and champions. Awesome. Champions are Brom, Ezreal, Fiora, Graves, Lux, Malphite, Awesome. The day after player hits level 7, they'll rejoin the standard free-to-play champion pool. Awesome. That's pretty cool. So they're adding more champions for the tutorial to give them a little taste on more champions, which is a really great thing. I mean, this is a huge thing for, like I said before, like people that are new to Wild Rift don't really understand Wild Rift in general or champions. So having more champions available to test out different champions is pretty awesome. Adding more info to tutorials, awesome. And it's all miscellaneous stuff. Raise the in-game camera height on some tablet devices. This was a tablet change that they would, changed about awesome. Changed about before. Added map visuals to better indicate the blue sentinel, so blue buff, red buff, awesome. Rift Scuttler are about to spawn. A grey map icon switches to a yellow icon when they respawning, awesome. Added visuals to help indicate lane assignments more clearly in lane, awesome. Improved visuals for tower aggro. Danger zones now have more solid colouring, so new players clearly know when they're being drawn aggro. Map's 3D model background in collection page is now based in Ixtal, yeah. Added option to hide in-game names entirely, awesome. Europe and Asia only event missions will now progress even if you are playing on a different server. That's pretty awesome. Eventual temporarily personalized content like spawn effects and home guard trails will now show in the events panel under equipment. Home guard trails. Are they adding? Oh my god, this is kind of crazy. There could be like Poros following me or something. Spawn effects as well, which is going to be when you respawn, I guess. Home guard trails. So these are like new things that are coming to events, it seems like. Continue to address performance and latency issues, which are awesome. Champ set filters now let you pick by position, so lane jungle. Interesting. If refunded content through App Store, Google Play, blah, 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 blah. That is it, chat. Wow, 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 wow. What a patch. What a patch. Tanks buffed. Item changes galore. Champions buffed, nerfed. Oh my. What a patch. I cannot wait for this patch to come out. Obviously, Tuesday is the day this patch comes out. I'm going to let you go all enjoy and read this patch notes yourself. Let me know down in the comments what you think the biggest changes for this patch. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a good one. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you all very, very soon. I'll see you all on stream. Make sure you save the date for the ARAM. Custom ARAMs on stream for sure. Wild Pass, everything. It's going to be insane. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. But thank you guys all for tuning into the video. I appreciate it. I'll see you all very soon. Take care.